the lightweight to super lightweight division are the most stacked in boxing, probably than it's been in a long time. Who of all those guys, we got Haney, Tank, Loma, Shakur. Who am I missing?
Teofimo Lopez,
Theo,
140, Ryan Garcia.
Garcia. Well,
Hey.
not yet. But of those five specifically, who do you think is the cream of the crop?
Hey, man, this going to be, I got friends in there. But you know me, I'm unbiased.
Oh, you're cool with some of them?
Yeah.
Who are you cool with?
Haney's. The Haney's, you know what I mean? Those my brothers right there.
Hey, okay. Just Haney, or you know some of the other guys too?
Ryan Garcia, that's my boy. Teofimo Lopez.
And by the way, let me clarify I think Ryan is one of the most talented fighters, but I think he just needs more experience.
Big time.
And I'm cool with Derek James. I'm actually, I've talked to him a bunch of times. Hopefully he'll make a difference.
Derek James is stripping him back down to ground zero. He has to rebuild him.
Right.
He has very bad habits. He got to rebuild.
If Ryan can sharpen that right hand to be like that left hook, he's going to be a real problem.
Right. Precisely.
But
you know your boxing, man.
I do. Thank you. Thank you. So
cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop of those five. Unbiased.
Don't Tank.
Agreed.
Oh,
you're a smart man.
Agree.
Yeah, agree. Tank. Yeah. No. The Roy Jones thing, we're on the same page. That's where you had me. You had me right there. But yeah, no, I think Shakur is the one person who could probably give Tank some problems.
Yeah.
But I would still have to lean towards Tank.
Yeah. Because listen. This is what I try to explain to people. We don't know it all, Marco. We could be damn wrong, 100%. This is just us just using experience and what we see. Tank Davis is, regardless, okay, Devin Haney slick, Shakur Stevenson slick, high IQ. If they are the cream of the crop, or let's just say Shakur Stevenson is the cream of the crop of IQ and slickness, Tank Davis isn't that far behind when it comes to IQ and slickness. The reason why he doesn't have, his fights don't look like the performances of Shakur Stevenson is because he got knockout, drop dead power in both hands. And I mean drop dead power. When you have that type of power and you can, and still, I don't care what anybody say, the knockout is the best thing that can happen in a boxing match. So when you have that type of power and you're not getting paid for overtime, you fight in a certain way, you put yourself in certain positions to get the knockout. Why play around with him? So it's not his IQ is right there with them. His natural IQ, his slickness is right there. Look at when Ryan Garcia was throwing those fast punches at Tank Davis and how he just sat in the fire and bam! His eyes, if you look at it in slow motion, even him against Eastside Cruz, he's crazy beautiful. And he keeps himself in there, so does Shakur Stevenson. But his reflexes, accuracy, his knowing what punch to throw when, how to set you up like he did Rolly Romero. That was all IQ. How he was looking at Rolly Romero's feet, smiling at him, inviting him in, doing the thing. All those things that you don't really measure, he's doing those things. Except for he got knockout power in both hands. Which is why stylistically his fights just look different than those boys. Doesn't mean that he has less IQ or less slick. It's just that Julian the Hawk Jackson type of power, he's going to knock your ass out.
So to me, people talk about Tank as just having, he was losing. He caught him with one shot. Tank, in my opinion, is only limited by his size because as he goes up, he's what is he, 5'4", 5'5"? So he's losing some rounds, but when you knock out almost everybody you face with a beautifully timed counterpunch, you can't keep calling it a one lucky punch. It's a plan that's executed, kind of like Deontay Wilder. Like, I'm not a huge Wilder fan.
Thank you. Hold on. Yes. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, like, I'm not a huge Wilder fan, more so for how he acted after his losses, but as a fighter, when people say, "Oh, he just has the right hand," when you do that 43 times, it is not a lucky punch. It's an executed
Yeah.
plan. And the same thing with Tank. Tank, just to be able to land that punch shows his high level of boxing IQ. He sets traps like you were talking about. He has really good technical ability. So the reason why I pick him over Shakur is more so too. Tank's resume is just superior,
Yeah, yeah, it is. I mean,
right?
it is.
But I think Shakur would give him some problems.
100%. It's kind of like the conversation we're having about Terrence Crawford and Boots. You know, it's one of those things. And if Shakur Stevenson were to beat him, I wouldn't be shocked. Hell, if Haney were to beat him, I wouldn't be shocked.
No.
Okay?
Well,
I wouldn't be shocked.
maybe.
You saw that Loma fight. That's
I've never been fully like Haney's a great fighter, but I think the other guys to me have stronger skills that jump out.
Really? Okay, fine. Either way, Haney, he has the pedigree. He came up with Floyd. He came up with those guys.
He's a great
Sugar
fighter.
Ray Leonard, you know,
Right.
yeah, all those guys. So he has the pedigree. I wouldn't be shocked, right? Either way. If you want to talk about Shakur Stevenson, I wouldn't be shocked.
And Teo is the dark horse.
Exactly. To me, I don't see too much of a difference in their fighting style.
No.
I don't see too
Teo
much
and Tank fireworks.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, when you said that Tank Davis had a better resume, you know, people are going to lose their damn minds here.
But he doesn't he?
I think so. But I'm just saying people don't see it that way. Okay? They really don't. They see Tank Davis as a cherry picker. At least in my community, a lot of people talk that way. Where for me, look, Oscar Valdez, fantastic. What's his name? Rosario, fantastic, right? Jamel Harris, fantastic guys, okay? But still, I think the fighters Tank Davis fought were more dangerous. They could not, all of them will probably can knock you out. Ryan Garcia would knock your ass out.
Right.
Mario Barrios would knock your ass out. It just
talking about Rolly. If he catches you,
yeah, you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he was an Eastside Cruz. He's fighting dangerous guys, not the most skillful guys, but dangerous guys. So he's always in a fight where he can go to sleep or somebody else can. So you got to give him a little edge when it comes to his resume, in my opinion.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I mean that division is crazy, and hopefully we're gonna get all of them to fight each other at some point.
I think we will.
I don't know, man. I mean, and I guess the last division I kind of want to touch on is the heavyweight division.
Okay.
Who's the cream of the crop for you?
It's between two guys. Let me think. Let me chew on this a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Forget it. I'm going to say Usyk. I'm going to say Usyk. I know people are going to say Tyson Fury. I don't know, bro. I really Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury knows something, and not just about Usyk. I think he knows something about himself. Something that I've seen that I don't think people have seen yet. Tyson Fury legs they've gotten heavy. Now, he's calling it a choice. You're not fooling. His legs have gotten heavy. His feet has gotten a bit heavy.
He's not dancing as much.
He's not the Tyson Fury I knew. The one that had hair, the one that fought Klitschko. That Tyson Fury was strange. He can move, 6'9", slick, his feet. He was like strange.
Let me ask you this. Sugar Hill comes in and turns that Fury into a knockout puncher. Fights end earlier, no overtime like you said. Why is that not better?
Because it's not better. Now, listen. He's easier to hit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's going to, when it comes to certain, okay, how about this? Let me do it like this. That Tyson Fury is good against the current heavyweight landscape. That Tyson Fury, we saw him walk down Wilder. That Tyson Fury, to me, would beat AJ, right? That Tyson Fury knocked out Dillian White. These heavyweights are slow guys. But I'm saying Usyk is a throwback heavyweight. Those are the heavyweights that we remember in the 90s. The guys who can, like Holyfield, who can move, bounce on his toes, still got power, give angles. The heavyweights were very skillful fighters, just big, right? They were always skillful fighters, just big. And I think that type of fighter in Usyk is very hard for this Tyson Fury to catch and move with. Tyson Fury isn't a combination puncher either. His punches get sloppier the more punches he throws. So he's really a jab, jab, jab too, right?
Okay.
He's going to have to try to catch Usyk. And the reason why I got Usyk over him is because, dude, if you try to think about that fight aesthetically, Tyson Fury can look sloppy against him. He can try to check. He could be looking sloppy against Usyk. And if you think of everybody who's knocked down Fury, Wilder, you know, but Cunningham, right? These guys were all smaller guys.
True.
6'3". There was another guy who knocked him down. I forget his name. Pierre something. I forget his name. Look it up. He was also 6'3". They all happen to be smaller, shorter guys. So that hand speed and quickness isn't good for Fury. I think Usyk is the cream of the crop, barely, because Tyson Fury is such a mammoth of a human being,
You know,
with a fighting pedigree.
I've agreed with everything you said, except this one. I think Fury is too big, and I think when he's laying on Usyk, doing those tactics that he does, it's going to drain the shit out. Now, some people say, well, he has to catch him. He'll catch him. I think he'll just be too big. And people say, well, size doesn't matter, skills matter. Size matters only if you know how to use it.
Very much. And he like Foreman. And he definitely knows.
He knows how to. So that's why I think, you know, but, you know, Usyk will have some success bouncing around doing his, like, Loma style and all that. But I think Tyson was, leaning on him. People don't realize, like, I think, you know, you said I fought a long time, and the wrestling, the shit you do inside drains you a lot. When somebody lays on you, or when you see fighters push other fighters' heads down, that shit will drain the hell out of you.
Yeah, it destroys.
That's why a lot of fighters go down instead of resisting it, because it takes less energy to go down and let the referee. So,
absolutely. Well, here's another thing. You know, Tyson Fury is a maniac when it comes to his heart.
Yeah.
Nobody else gets up from what Wilder was doing, bro. Nobody else gets up from that. You see that shockwave, bro? He punched him in his head, and it's just a shockwave went. Bro, nobody dares to get up. So Usyk is going to have to outbox him for 12. You know, so I'm not confident in that, but I have to pick one. And I think the way Tyson Fury is moving when it comes to Usyk, when I looked at those who've knocked him down and given him trouble, are people with hand speed and people who are actually smaller, not bigger. So I'm leaning slightly towards Usyk.
Okay, and that's fair. You know, but that fight's not happening.
Right. It's not.
Not yet. Hopefully.
To defend the WBC championship.
What do you think about that?
It's ridiculous. I think everybody who's associated with that as part of that is damn ridiculous.
I mean, but then there is, I agree with you as a boxing purist, but there's another side to look at it. Like, this is, you know, if you sum it up, this is just an easy exhibition for Tyson Fury, technically. I know it's not an exhibition.
Right.
But
technically it's a pro fight.
Right, but it is an exhibition in terms of, you know, so he's worked hard, he's fought everybody. Why not take one fight, make a lot of money, and have zero risk?
No, that's ridiculous. It's the reason why Floyd Mayweather beat Rocky Marciano's record of 49-0. He made sure he beat it, became 50-0 by beating Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor. That should be like, how is it that Jared Anderson doesn't get a fight for the title against Tyson Fury? Frank Sanchez doesn't get a fight for the title of Tyson Fury. I know Joe Joyce wants his get back with Zhang or whatever, but still he doesn't get the fight to fight for the Francis Ngannou gets the fight for the title. If it was exhibition, fine, that's money too. A fight is a fight, but to fight for the damn title over these.
So your problem isn't with him taking the fight. Your problem is with the title being up for grabs.
Yes, that is a pro fight. That is no fair whatsoever for all these guys who are putting their lives on the line in boxing, building their names, climbing up the ladder, and this guy comes from UFC because he's big and strong, and he gets to fight for the title. That is ridiculous. That is preposterous.
I agree with you.
You know, anybody associated with that is, what are you doing? Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think it's nothing wrong with, like you said, I think Floyd fought everybody and their mother. So for him to take that last fight and make it easy is fine. But you're right. Maybe the title shouldn't have been up for grabs. Because it kind of disrespects the sport in a way.
Right, exactly. And Floyd and Conor McGregor, I remember years before that fight how much people wanted that crossover fight. The crossover fight should have happened. But for that to be a pro-damn fight, and now you're 50-0, when you have people like Keith Thurman, who was your mandatory, like, that is nuts. That is nuts. No other fighter, that is ridiculous, bro. And now Tyson Fury doing the same thing. Whatever criticisms I give Floyd Mayweather for that shit, I give Tyson Fury. That is ridiculous, bro.
You know, Jake Paul started a thing, and we see a lot of branching off into that thing. Floyd Mayweather's continuing that trend of these exhibitions and, you know, this, that, and the other. If I was Floyd, I don't think I would do that personally because, you know what I mean? But then you have the other side of it, like, well, he's robbing the bank or whatever, however people want to put it.
I mean, I don't get any of the money, so what the hell I care? Well, go ahead.
Right. So it's like, no, I agree. But there's a trend now. And partially it's good for boxing because it's bringing more eyeballs to it. But then there's the side that you're talking about, which slightly makes it a bit of a circus, too.
Yeah, well, are you done with that point?
Yes.
I think, like you said, Jake Paul is good for boxing. Floyd Mayweather, because there's a lot of casuals. People know Floyd Mayweather. They know Pacquiao. Pacquiao's about to have one of those fights, too. Right? Just like a kickboxer or whatever. Yeah. These fighters can't stop fighting. I understand that. Right? I mean, they're just addicted to it. That's what they are. That's what they've been since 2-3 damn years old. I understand that. All of it is good for boxing. But it's not, anyone who would think that it's better for the sport than just I don't give a damn if you're not a champion, an unknown fighter. Every fighter who participates in real pro boxing is better for the sport than that shit.
Right.
Because it keeps the sport what it is. It keeps it what it's been. It keeps it true. It's the anchor holding it down. Every fighter, I commend you. Every fighter, pro fighter who's fighting and keeping that anchor down, because without y'all, this shit can float away. It's kind of like anybody who wants to be a wrestler because they watched Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Right.
Fine. But kudos to the NCAA collegiate wrestlers, the Olympians, and everybody who's really doing it, because that's real wrestling, and y'all are keeping it grounded. So, yeah, the exhibition fights and everything, great for the sport, but never better for the sport. Then I don't give a damn if you're 0-3. Anybody doing a professional boxing match is always better for the sport.
Right. No, I mean, there's a lot of things, you know, the sport has a lot of holes punched in it. There's a lot of problems. You know, some of the refereeing and the judging we've seen over the past couple of years have been insane. Like, literally, like when Tank fought Garcia goes down and it's a 10-10 round. I mean, that's literally illegal. Like, that's not even legal. You can't do that. And there's nobody to come in and say, oh, no, this is not legal. Like, there's no accountability at all for anything.
I know. And the thing is, the scary thing about that is, if that fight would have went 12, that round could have caused the difference. Who knows? If they're judging shit like that 10-10, who knows what they would have been judging anything else? I mean, because we all know if Tank would have lost, there would have been a rematch. That's what a rematch clause was. That's where the money was. So you kind of already see how things are going. This is what I try to do in my community so much. I'm trying to convince the boxing landscape that we are still there and we still love you even when you lose. Errol Spence, we still love you. We'll still watch your fights. We're still behind you even when you lose. So you ain't got to lie. You ain't got to manufacture a fighter. You ain't got to do all this shit because it's ruining the sport. It's not helping it. All these fighters that I love, that's in my top 5 of all time, got their asses whipped. Ali got his ass whipped. Willie Pep, Sugar Ray Robinson, they all got their asses whipped, and we were behind them, and they're still one of the greatest ever. And a lot of times they're one of the greatest ever because they got their asses whipped.
Right.
So, and
Well,
because they took them on.
right. Well,
Taking them all on is always better than cherry picking or getting all these weak decisions and staying undefeated. I promise you.
right. Well, the problem is Floyd probably kickstarted it. The whole, be undefeated, go on social media, show all the money you have, all this, all that, and it's become a lot more of a superficial kind of, and boxing fans, this, the majority, for some reason in this sport, like, I don't think it's like this with any other sport as much, so much criticism.
Yeah.
The boxing, like, you look at the comments and, there's a lot of negativity and a lot of criticism with the sport. And like what you said, you're trying to convince the landscape. It's hard because a lot of the landscape is programmed to just criticize.
Yeah, I know. And that's because, sorry to say, but we all need our asses whipped. And stop pretending. Dude, if we all go out there like you, like me, I told a story about me getting knocked out and then picking up a textbook. Because of that, I respect anybody who gets in the ring. I know what's up, right? If we all just get our asses whipped, we will have more respect for those who are doing it. And sorry to everybody who's watching right now. I'm sorry. Your favorite fighter isn't you. He doesn't represent you. If he lose, you didn't lose. So you don't have to be, capping all in the comments. You don't have to be hating other fighters because you hate their fans. Listen, the one thing that we get for sure isn't your favorite fighter winning. It's a great performance or match or entertainment, just like any movie. Both of those people and all the teams are responsible for putting on a good show. You only get a show. You don't get more if Terrence Crawford wins. You don't get more if Errol Spence wins. You don't get shit. They don't know that you exist. Put all of your feelings into the actual performance and the product itself. And I swear we will all appreciate boxing more. Thanks for the show. Arturo Gatti, I loved him. And I was almost disappointed when he won the fights. That's that, because he always put on just a great show. I tuned in every time he fought. I didn't care if he won. Hold on. He put on a great show every time. And that's how we benefit. Just a great show. Just a great show.
No,
we get undefeated.
No, you're right. People do connect themselves to certain fighters. Like I remember, look, when I was coming up, when Mike Tyson lost, right, to Douglas, I'm a New York guy. I think I cried. I mean, I was like 13 or whatever, but because I grew up in the ghetto in Hell's Kitchen. And Tyson, at that point, represented all of us that grew up in the ghetto in New York. So you almost felt like, and part of you was losing.
Right.
But that's not what happens.
It's not what happens. And guess what? What that does is make the other guy who did something great, like Buster Douglas, beat Mike Tyson, and fulfilling a wish from his dying mother, you end up calling him a buster, hating him, trolling him when he just did something great. All because a guy you don't know think represents you. It happened to me with Roy Jones Jr. Tarver said, any excuses tonight, Roy, and knocked him out. What do I want Tarver to do? Say, I bow to you, Roy, you're the best? No, I'm taking my shot too. And I looked at this Superman in his face who want get back, and I wasn't afraid, and I told him in his face that I'm about to knock your ass out. That's great. It's great. And because I was such a fanboy up the ass of Roy Jones Jr., I missed the opportunity to appreciate what Tarver did. I would never do that again. And I think we all got to be that way.
Me too. Yeah, we do. It's but boxing, maybe more than any other sport, it's really tied emotionally. People really tie it to themselves emotionally.
Yeah. I think it's just that one guy. A lot of it has to do with insecurities that you have yourself. A lot of it, and the business make money off of it. Racism, right? Placism. The fact that this guy kind of looks like me, so I'm going to root for him no matter what. And then it brings out all the ugliness and insecurities that you have inside. And it makes for just an ugly sport responsible. It's really unfortunate. But if you and I work together, we all work together, we can help impact it. Not totally change it because people are going to be insecure, but at least tell the business it doesn't. It's not a big fight because it's a Japanese guy versus a black guy, or a white guy versus a black guy, or you don't have to do that. You saw Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. Just have two great guys fight, and whoever lose, lost. Whoever won, won, and let's keep damn moving forward, bro. I believe that this sport that's been around for hundreds of years is fine. It's a great sport, and we don't have to manufacture shit, and we ain't got to lie to the people because a lot of us not falling for it.
Agreed. Well, man, in summation, last thing I want to ask you, because I know we've been on a while.
Yeah.
Who are your top 5 current?
Oh, dude, you just put me on the spot. I'm gonna tell you this, man, and this is gonna blow some people away. I add women in with men.
Why not? They fight, right?
They fight and they do great things. Is women doing great things in their world, men doing great things in their world, and greatness is greatness. Even if this is like the infancy of female boxing, you're still the one that pushed it forward the way Jesse Owens did, track and field. The way,
Well, then Clarissa's number 1 because she's. But
Clarissa Shields could be the best fighter in the world.
Right.
So my top 5, I'm going to have to say, not in any real order right now. I actually kind of forgot my pound-for-pound list. But I have Terrence Crawford, Inoue, Clarissa Shields, Usyk, and
Tank?
Jamel Charlo?
Over Tank.
Yeah. Because Jamel Charlo's undisputed. I'm tired of the disrespect. The guy, if you're undisputed, bro, or was undisputed, you should be in the top 5. Now, skill-wise, not Jamel, not skill-wise. There's a few people I have over him skill-wise, but he fought the champions. He became champion. He's defended things. It's also, what are you damn doing? And Jamel Charlo, dude, I have to put him up there. I have to either him or a Devin Haney. Devin Haney? These are undisputed guys.
Okay.
So for me, I'm going to give love to people who are accomplishing things, and hopefully that push others to try to accomplish things. We ain't going to just give it to you because you're displaying good skills in the ring. Who's doing shit? And that's who I'm going to give the top 5 to.
Okay. I think I would do Crawford, probably Tank, Inoue, Usyk over Fury only because Usyk's accomplished more.
That's what, yeah.
And the 5th one, probably Charlo.
Right.
But a lot of these, but I could interchange 2 or 3 of those guys in there.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. The problem with Haney is I got Haney up there in my pound for pound. I may have got him in my top 5 in my official pound for pound. But the problem is, I think Loma won, dog. I do. I think Loma won the fight, dog. I think Loma won. But officially, Haney won. Officially, he won. So he won. Forget what I think. He won.
Wait, did you tell Haney this?
Oh, I put it out there. I put it out there. I think Loma won the fight. I mean, while I was calling the fight, I'm like, boy, Loma's better than Haney. I didn't know he was that much better. And then when they said Haney won, I was like, huh?
I mean,
it's live.
Right. I remember thinking that. I saw the fight twice. First time I thought Haney won. Second time I thought Loma won. It was close, though.
It was.
I think.
It was close. It was not a robbery. It was close.
All right. Well, man, hey, man. Look, thanks for talking to me. Let's do this again. This was fun.
Yeah, it was. It was great talking boxing with you, brother. I'm following you, man.
I appreciate it.
See what you're doing.
All right. I'm with you. All right. Let's talk soon.
All right, brother. Peace.